Do you guys know what kind of plant this is? Like, this is an old rugby pitch, which they like reseeded. I thought with grass, you know. This isn't weeds, right? This is deliberate, surely. I'm on my morning walk. I haven't been going for walks recently because the builders have been around and I want to be in when they first arrive. Because Laura doesn't want to talk to them on her own, basically. But I am like wrapping my head around what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and I'm having a productivity drive. I had to think last night about like how I want to spend my time, how I should spend my time, and I'm trying to nail that down, you know. And as part of that, I'm trying to have a concerted effort to get back into videos. Yeah, I've obviously got work and shopping to do today. I've got a meetup thing tomorrow to go to, a virtual meetup. But so over the next 2 days, today and tomorrow, I'm like road mapping out some projects that I want to start running on. And I feel like I just need to start building things that I want to build. And the problem is maintaining the enthusiasm in the thing I want to build if there isn't anything really at the end of it. And I'm going to try and take the opportunity to learn more stuff again and kind of use it as a learning experience rather than something I get something out of. You know, I'm so used to thinking of things in like a businessy way, where I've been trying to figure out what I can build which I could in some way turn into a product or feature of a business in the future. I feel like that's the wrong way to think about it, but I need to figure out what drives me now, you know, because now Rad Spider is like dead. That's the thing that's been driving me for 5 years. Like basically every decision I make on a daily basis almost come back to that. Because effectively like every decision I've made over the past 5 years has been about being able to free up time to direct at something which will in theory generate me value in the future. And it's really difficult flicking from that to doing stuff which was like for free, effectively, teaching me stuff, and I was learning a lot about how I was doing it. But I've now not got the like business side of it to drive that learning. I've got to kind of self-learn, you know? It's a lot harder to do. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, I've got like 2 things that I want to build. One because I want it myself, and it gives me lots of like different things to learn that are like front-endy. I need to get better at front-end style building in general. My job now is very back-end focused. I've been back-end focused for a long time. I've like deliberately shied away from it. And like realistically, if I want to do anything in the future, I need to get better at front-end stuff because that's what people buy. But I'm still fighting with the fact of, do I want to do something in the future? You know, I'm in like a bit of a existential crisis. Don't know where I'm going, midlife, like quarter-life crisis kind of period of my life. And I'm just trying to focus my time and, well, not use that as an excuse to do the least possible productive thing, you know? I have this thing where whenever I go shopping, I kind of like buy as treats and I like get a little bit excited buying treats and whatnot. And this week was an expensive shop. We've got steak coming up, so I treat myself to some cherry tomatoes on the vine. Look at me. See, that's what I mean by treats here. But this week was expensive because we bought another frying pan. I feel like I go through frying pans too regularly, and I'm trying to decide whether or not I've just been buying like bad frying pans. Like, I don't know whether you just go, you need to buy a better frying pan for it to last a long time, or you just buy cheap ones and just replace them. So yeah, I bought a new frying pan. That was a treat, quote unquote. Actually, there weren't that many treats. That was the outlier. We've finally got a new bread knife. We bought... Oh, Cyber has binned it. We had a bread knife, which we bought when we first moved into our flat together. And its first usage was to cut a wire hole in a wooden TV cabinet. And we finally bought a new bread knife. Oh yeah, it's in there. It's underneath the plate, so I'm not going to get it out now. But yeah, it's all. Well, I'm excited about that. But yeah, had a good old fun shop-a-doodle-doo, as I'm going around. Because it was my turn, ladies and gentlemen, this week. There was a big queue as well. Normally you get at 5:30. It's not a queue, but there was one this time. By the by, today I basically spent the entire day trying to get some tests running, some end-to-end tests running on my machine, pointing at the test environment. That was like in my downtime, but the rest of the day was what I like to call hurry up and wait, where like we are laser focused on trying to get this thing out to production by the day. It's like a critical bug fix. And I'm like, right, okay, so I figured it out. I need to do all these things. I've got all the tabs in a row of all the steps I need to take. And then I like keep needing to get people's approval. And I'm like, right, send that over to 2.5 hours. I need to get someone to help me. I'm like, I messaged one of the people who like really need it. And I'm like, by the way, I'm still waiting for a response from Thingy. I've like pushed twice and he's not responding to me. It's stressing me out. and then he creates like a group chat and he's like, yo, so we've got this critical incident. And he's like, and then I messaged him like, oh, it started replying to me now. He goes, yeah, always just sprinkle the word critical incident in there and they always respond. It's been really bizarre because we've been having this critical thing that we needed to fix. And we needed to figure out a clever way of getting it deployed because it was technically behind something else that wasn't there yet. And it was weird. The same as on Friday as well, when I was diagnosing the problem. It's only a problem in the week. It's not a problem at the weekend. Like, it feels like I should be panicked, you know? It feels like when you're fixing a bug like in live, it's like fucking exciting, you know? But then it's just like, oh, people just casually get back to you whenever they want and all that kind of shit because you're remote. Whereas if you're in person, you'd be like, hey, I need that thing ready urgently, ready yet? Cool, bang. And you'd like, you know what I mean? Like you'd get up and walk to them, but you don't just call people that you don't talk to normally. So yeah, like managers, I wouldn't just like call them on Teams. I'd message them on Teams, but in the office, I'd just walk up to them and be like, yo, do you mind, you know? But that is now fixed. We had, like I say, we had this issue where we was going behind this other thing, which is just a new package update. Like it's not a big deal. It's also health checks. It's like really not a big deal at all. And it takes 8 hours to deploy because it's deploying everything within this microservice. It's complicated. One repo has got like 8 microservices in it, all kind of with a semi-common domain. And I had to be like, one of the people like brought up the fact that so we might end up DLL hell if we deploy like the newer version of one and not the others. And I'm like, guys, I will stake my career on the fact that that won't happen. so we're fine. But yeah, because it's like all service fabric and we're not deploying one app, we're deploying several different apps to several different areas and all that kind of shit. But they started to like panic over something. And I'm like, guys, this isn't a thing. Like the other options for like the other workarounds were either hugely time consuming or, well, yeah, just hugely time consuming. It would either dramatically delay the book going out, or it would slightly delay it and then significantly dramatically delay the other piece of work that was already on its way. But we figured it out, it's all fine. The builders are gone, ladies and gentlemen. I'll show you tomorrow. Looks great. Happy days. Builders are gone, paid. We can forget about it all now. Like it never happened. That's the way I like it. Today has been day of two halves. One was really slow, trying to get some end-to-end tests running on my machine. My machine pointing at the test server, but on my machine. And then from there, I was looking at, I got a message through about the bug, so the bug that we fixed last week, that went to prod yesterday, had some unexpected consequences, which basically swamped one of the internal teams, and they were trying to figure out like why they'd got way more things to do than normal. And it's basically got this kind of history where it like keeps track of everything it's ever done before and then doesn't re-report them. And then some of the logic based on the bug basically meant that it forgot everything it's ever done before. And I had to pull some queries out. It took us ages to wrap our head around what it was doing. Again, one of the problems of us all being new. No one's been here long enough to kind of know how it works. So I'm like literally stepping through like what the product owner's idea of how it works is, what the business's idea of what it works is, what the code looks like it's doing, what the database is saying. Bearing in mind the database is in a weird state. That's the strange thing. So it was great fun. But yeah, so figured it out in the end, managed to like chip our way through to get to the logic, find out exactly like what it had done and why it had done it and how we were going to get out of that situation. The database is in a bit of a weird state, so I don't know if we're going to put in some work to try and fix that state. But in theory, it's fine, so we'll see. Otherwise, this evening, on one monitor, I was watching a .NET talk thing, which was supposed to be by Scott Hanselman, but he was unavailable, so someone else from Microsoft did it, and it was sick. And it was going over the things that they did at Build and like a couple of demos and stuff, and they showed some sick ass demos. So pretty exciting stuff. Also, kind of feeds into the things that I'm going to be building. I haven't started any of it because I've been so fucking slammed. But there's some things that I'm building that I'm like laying the groundworks for effectively. One of which is going to be a Xamarin app, which is annoying because it could have been a .NET fucking Mooly app. It's got a cooler name than that. Which is what the future of Xamarin is going to be, but that's not for 2 more years. So I'm going to get into that space because I feel like that's going to be big one day. The other one's going to be Blazor, which is definitely going to be big. So yeah, that was pretty good fun. I was doing that on one monitor and Laura was playing City Skylines on the other. So it was good fun. Because Laura's finished her revision and stuff for tomorrow. Now we're headed to bed. I'm going to read my Kindle for a little bit. I'm not that tired, but like I say, I'm trying to figure out how to like spend my time in a way that feels productive without being like, it's still like fun, like a hobby style of productive rather than like religious. And then make the most of the different pockets of time that I have. So if I have 20 minutes free in the morning, which I had this morning, play a little bit of a game, actually, and while I was installing all the stuff that I needed to start some apps. But yeah, I'm just seeing how we go. Not a crazy productive day for me today. Laura had her exam, so this morning was like a little bit off, and then like we've taken the evening off, so we've just been like watching TV and whatnot. This morning though, I built my first got Xamarin apps running on my computer. Turns out doing that with an AMD processor is a bit of a bitch, so I'm debugging it on my phone rather than in the emulator because I can't get hardware acceleration to run properly, which is odd I think because like Docker's fine and whatnot, but I think I have to flick some settings in the BIOS to make it run at get hardware acceleration, and I think if I do that it's gonna slow down Docker. So effectively, like Docker and Xamarin want the same option in the 2 different states, and I'd rather have Docker run, to be honest. Which is odd actually, because the amount of Docker... No, it's not. Well, I don't actually do a crazy amount of Docker stuff. But anyway, yeah, so I've got that sorted. I was running it through just trying to figure out like how Xamarin apps work. It's been a while since I've looked at them. It was a long time ago actually. So what I'm going to do, so normally what I do when I'm building stuff like this, by the way, is I never just go off of the template. My nose isn't going to start bleeding, is it? No. Microsoft has like lots of like really good like sample sites and stuff. So what you do, FYI, is you build the template and then you look through that template and then you create an empty template like from scratch, and then you pull things over one by one. And then that's the best way, I find, of figuring out what does what. And then you can filter out all the shit you don't want, because there'll be a lot of it. And yeah, so yeah, that was my plan. I've got it running this morning, but I didn't really have much time for anything else. Work was, we've like finalised the stuff we were doing yesterday for the bugs. That's all sorted. I've got loads of tests running on my machine. We've now got a big code change gone up into our team environment, and we need to do some changes in some other services, which I'm now discovering, which might be a thorn in our side, but hopefully it's a very tiny change. I think it's quite a small change, because I believe it's only that like someone attempted to make this change, and I think they just missed one place. That's my fingers crossed. So yeah. It's been a fun day, but it's been unproductive, and I'm like, part of me's like, should I stay up? But I'm quite tired, so I'm like, one thing about doing is doing some stuff on my show him. Well, man, I'm trying to wrap my head around these Xamarin apps. They are really complicated, and like it's one of the things that I've never seen like best practices or anything. So I'm like, and there's like 3 different variants of them all, and some of it's like. It's confusing as heck. I'm trying to figure out. I spent about half an hour trying to figure out how to change the colour text on a button because I didn't notice there was a button there, and I just like dobbed the screen, and I was like, oh, what was that? But yeah, so I've just been like figuring out how all the styles work, and like how you kind of build the pages up. And like I say, there seems to be like 8 different ways to do it, and I don't know which is the right way. So it's good fun. Otherwise though, today at work I had a jolly good fun time. I made a minute change to a repo that's owned by another team, and then I just wrapped a lot of their stuff around with tests, and it was sweet, mate. We had a problem where like we'd updated an enum and we'd forgotten to update a certain enum. And I'm like, how can we write some tests that are quick, that we can like effectively brute force and automatically update whenever like a value gets added to an enum? This test would fail if you haven't added it to this other enum. And I basically did that, wrapped it around I wrote something like, I think there's about 100 tests, all like data-driven tests. That run in like lightning quick. I feel like we're very like prone to lifting up into the integration level to do tests rather than the unit test level, and I'm gonna change that. Yeah, I've seen like a diagram of like this hexagon where it's like unit tests, component tests, integration tests, and what we seem to have is end-to-end tests, integration tests, unit tests. So that's life. Anyway, yeah, I'm bedtime, I guess. I forgot and gelled my hair this morning before coming out on my walk, which means I'm not, for one of the first time in a long time, I'm not walking with headphones listening to a podcast. So I'm just thinking, I'm trying to like figure out ideas. I'm idea planning right now. I'm trying my best to like think of what I can do. I don't know. I'm really enjoying like kind of playing with new stuff. The problem with playing with new stuff is you're often like quite a long way away from what you want, and it's like difficult to kind of stay interested, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I need to get better at like being able to rapidly build things, you know? Almost like rapid prototyping, release into the world, see if it sticks, that kind of thing. I feel like I spend too much time like kind of perfecting a little bit. But yeah, I'm like trying to figure out yeah, I don't know. There are like 3 things. The reason, by the way, I don't wear headphones is because the headband gets jelly if your hair's still a bit like the gel's not dried properly. What I'm trying to do is identify a pain point that I can solve, you know? That's like, what is something that annoys me that I'd pay money to solve, but also something that I can fix myself, you know? I'm trying to look for a hobby, basically, that I can do that can lead somewhere rather than just being like a YOLO thing. Like I'm currently attempting to build a little app, because I've always wanted an app to do the thing that I want this app to do, so I'm going to try and build it. And I'm building another thing because I feel like I want that kind of service, and I feel like I could build it, and it doesn't exist at the moment, and anything close to it is really expensive. So in the future I could use my own service rather than paying for someone else's. But I'm not sure either of those are actual like marketable to other people, from what I can tell. Because there's like, well, yeah. I'm trying to do what Beth and Ben do. Beth and Ben are really like wheeler dealer, either they like buy and sell things, and they've turned that into like something they do in their spare time, to like something they're thinking about doing all the time. And I'm like, what? Like I say, I'm struggling to come to terms with like how I want to spend my time and what my goals and ambitions are in life. Now Rad Spider's gone. Like doing these like learning projects are good for work in general, but like, is there a way that I can get them to be good for me as well, you know? I think the thing I struggle with is like, I don't know what I'm uniquely good at. So what I am uniquely good at isn't very marketable. Like it isn't something that's like easy to sell unless you're a consultant. And I'm not sure I'm that convinced about being a consultant either. So I don't know. I feel like all the things that all of the problems I have, I think they're problems because I'm not very good at it, and therefore I can't solve it for people. What I find like extra confusing is that like I'm not even like unhappy with my new job. Like I'm enjoying it. Yeah, there's things I'd change, but I also feel like one, there's a challenge to change them, so it's a fun challenge, but it's also possible, so it's not like oh, it's never going to happen, you know. So there's like improvements I feel like I can do, and I'm enjoying it. But there's like something about, you can't just switch off that part of your brain that for the past 5 years has been looking to run your own business, you know. And I'm trying to figure out whether or not, like, I'm so confused, because a part of me is like, I don't really want, I want to switch it off, and the other part is like, well, it won't switch off. You know. So like, what do I do? Because I can't switch it off, well, potentially the good thing about not switching it off is I feel unproductive if I'm ever just like playing games or whatever. That's one upside. But the flip of that is I also feel unproductive when I'm not working towards something that could generate revenue in the future or cut costs in the future, you know? It rained for the first time in a while yesterday, and I spotted that the back like started to like flood a bit. Like not like drastically, but like for relatively no rain, the like water built up. And I went out and like put a rubber glove on and like fished out a lot of dust and like what I assume is like old brick cement that's like either come off the house or went onto the house when we got the work done, and then like just kind of landed on the floor. Like the back of the house is like really dusty, like not, you know what I mean, it's not like dirty, but it's like dusty. You only really tell when you like come in and it's on your feet. But anyway, so I reckon that rain like went down there and blocked it. So I've like fished out like a load of the stuff, and then today, horrendous amount of rain. Like if that wasn't fixed, that'd have been bad news, boys. So glad we fixed that out. Otherwise, today I have pushed some code through another team's environment, and I'm doing some work to tidy up some of the tests. I sometimes feel like I get baited into changing more than I should, and then because I've modified this file, people take the opportunity to just like get you to change things that are nowhere near what you changed, you know? Like they'll find something at the bottom and they'll be like, oh, why does this do this? I'm like, I don't bloody well know. So yeah, I kind of lost the will to live towards the end of the day, to be honest with you. But we should be in a position, yeah, we should be in a position to get it. It's like in the environment, it's been tested now manually. I'm trying to get these other end-to-end tests running, but they just refuse to run. Even though I can like, well, no, they refuse to pick up that something's changed. So I need to look into them more to see what they're actually doing. Because I just like, I extended some existing ones and clearly it's a bit different. So, no dice. Then otherwise we watched Bohemian Rhapsody on Now TV because we're dropping the entertainment and cinema package in favour for sport. Now sport's coming back. I'm heading to bed. I am going to end this video here though, ladies and gentlemen. We have a fun weekend ahead of us. Don't. But I'll catch you for it later. Catch you later. I'm not going to lie to you today, boys. I played a lot of Satisfactory. I had a great time. Today was like the chore kind of day, so we did a lot of washing, a lot of cleaning, cooking and whatnot. I went to the shop to go, I bought a frying pan last week, but it was too big. It was like the size of, like it was too big for one of the rings on the hobs. So I took that back, got a load of stuff, had a fun period where I needed to be ID'd for something, and then like having to hold my ID out for someone, and then they're trying to get far enough away from me for coronavirus, but yeah, also close enough so they can actually read it because they've not got good eyesight. That was good fun. Otherwise, yeah, just been a lot of Satisfactory. Been playing, trying to like make sure I've got a nice stable power grid, and then I'm going to start building out little bits of like little factories here, there and everywhere. I'm having fun. I've currently got like 32 coal generators on just like max. I'm racing ahead to get geysers so I can get like hydrothermal power, and then I need to do fuel. But yeah, I'm having fun. too much time on it, but having fun. I watched like, yeah, today's just been like, the morning was just like pottering with stuff, afternoon playing games. I'm going to go play a little bit more because I'm about to finish off the stuff it's running right now. It's about to finish building stuff. And then we can start doing other stuff, you know? Cool. Alright then, crew. Did we do anything else today? No. No. Oh, I've also, mine and Laura's like anniversary coming up. And every year we've forgotten it for the past like 3 years. So I'm like, I haven't forgotten it this year. And I'm like getting stuff. But I need to really rein in my spending since getting my job. I've become very frivolous with my money. So I need to stop doing that. But I've got like 2 expensive bottles of gin now. And that's what I got ID for. And I have to get it back in for one I've ordered. I asked one of her friends for like recommendations because I didn't know anything about it. And that one they sell at the supermarket, the other one they don't. And I only bought it because it was in the supermarket. But then I have to like try to sneak it in. It's really difficult when you're both in the house all the time. Just got a friend request from one of my uncles who also sent me a message on Facebook. Again, don't know who uses Facebook these days. That said, I don't know where these go. He didn't say that. And says like, what does he say? He said like, I've just seen your dad. He's been to like Norfolk or whatever, and just a gentle reminder that what does he say? Giving you a gentle reminder about Father's Day next week. You fucking cheeky son of a bitch. Who the fuck do you think you are? You know, shitbag. Anyway. 2 presents are already there, and I'm ordering the next one, but it's got like a 14-day return policy. So, well, 14-day, you've got to notify them that it's returned, and then 14-day to return it after that. So I'm like leaving that delivery as late as I possibly can to make sure that he has enough time to take it back if he doesn't like it, because there's a semi-significant chance he won't like it. It's a Apple Watch strap thing. I'd like it. I think it looks cool, but I don't know if he will. Woke up this morning really not feeling it today. I am like not in the mood, so I'm trying to clear my nog by going for a walk. I'm kind of in that phase of my life right now where like all I really want to do is play Satisfactory, but then I feel guilty for it after. But yeah, like this week I just have no patience for at the moment, so I'm just trying to like do my Monday walk, trying to get in the zone. It's nice and sunny for now. It's going to rain later, I think. Semi-interestingly, got home from my walk this morning and then went back to bed for 45 minutes. I had a piercing like headache like here, and I just had to like keep my eyes in the dark. And I swear that's the second time that's happened, where I've like got up, got out, felt fine, and then on my walk like came back and I'm like, I need to go to sleep or something, man. Weird. Otherwise today has been semi-productive, not particularly productive. I've not been in a hugely great mood at work, but also we've got like, for like just in general productivity, let alone work. But work's interesting because we've got like some stuff. We're spinning a lot of plates. I'm trying to get this, I'm at like the tail end of this thing where I'm just trying to get it deployed, which takes time. But then we've also got meetings where we're starting a new project. And I feel like when you start a new project, that's when the pain differential between like teamwork in person and teamwork over video is so much different. Like it's so much harder. I feel like, well, firstly because there's obviously like lots of decisions we need to make, and like architecturally, like it's not the same planning a new feature on something that already exists compared to building something completely new. It's 2 completely different kettle of fish. And like my idea for what it would look like is basically this. Someone else will have a different idea, and like visualizing what that idea is, so that when that person makes it, it's not just like, oh shit, like what the fuck have you done, you know? Yeah, I also feel like we're reinventing a wheel a little bit with the current idea of what we're going to be doing. So that's going well. Otherwise, what else? I went shopping and whatnot in the evening, all that good shit. Yeah, I feel like I'm just struggling mentally at the moment. And I don't know what to do with myself and how to get around it. I feel like I need to take some holiday. I've booked a week off in a bit. But yeah, I feel like I'm just like frying myself out a little bit and I don't know what to do because I don't know how to spend my time. And I feel like I'm just like floating through life without a goal. I need a therapist or something, man. Finally got something over into, well, not into production, but into our staging environment. Got it over the line today. God damn, with a bit of like wrangling. But quite a good day today. I feel like I have these like weird ups and downs, but like had a pretty good day today where we had like a good kind of group tech discussion between all the developers where we were trying to figure out like how we're going to go forward. I pitched mass transit and like the style that I've done previous microservices. I think we basically decided that what we're trying to do, the amount of like kind of it's odd because it's like we have to do a certain amount of work to like get it, you know, and that's worth it if we're going to save a shitload of time. But it looks like actually what the project is turning out to be, it's not going to be, we're not going to do, the project's not big enough to get the payback back from, and there's like some technical limitations which could be a problem, i.e. the biggest one is whether or not a mass transit saga can subscribe to events that aren't mass transit messages. That's I think it can, but I have no I have no proof for that. So like therefore we can't drag everyone else with us. So like we don't get enough with just the state machine stuff. We don't like it's kind of all of it. We save a shitload of time, but we just don't think we'll get that past everyone else. So god damn it, man, these guys. Oh, it's like a little group of like lads doing like a fitness thing. Oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah, so like that was good. But then otherwise, like there's just like some odd frustrations around like, oh, I probably shouldn't have come this way. There's way too many people here. I think it's like because we're about to start a new project. There's a lot of like kind of big company bureaucracy that I'm kind of not used to. There's a lot of like talking about stuff that I feel like could not be talked about, you know. At some point we've got to do something, you know. We can't just talk about doing something and then it just magically comes out of our asses. But yeah, I feel like it's hard to tell whether or not it's a big company thing or it's a video meeting thing. That's what I'm like fighting with myself with. Like there's lots of things that like I understand why they're there. There's a lot of stuff that like makes sense for the kind of business we do. But there's a lot of it that like feels like bureaucracy and like red tape, and it just feels slow and sluggish and different to what I'm used to, which is small, snappy companies where me individually am a big cog in a pretty small machine. This is a big machine. I'm a tiny little cog. And that's the whole reason it attracted me, because I wanted to learn how that kind of place worked. But like it's like battling that frustration which is like underneath, but then how much of that is just being like magnified by the fact that we're all over video and it's not normal anyway, you know. It's hard to like, so I'm trying not to dismay, because I think if you go down that route it's hard to come back out, you know. And like most of the time I'm like enjoying it. There's just niggles and it's really easy to get frustrated at those niggles. Had a pretty good fun day today, ladies and gentlemen. We like tied up the end of a sprint. I did like a demo of a bit of work that we're doing. It's not in prod yet, but it's like on its way. It should be deploying tomorrow when we get the results of the load test. Well, I say that. We're going to the next environment tomorrow, and because of how much is going prod the next day. But yeah, did a demo, which was really good fun. We then had like a team like celebration thing for the 2 bits that we finished recently, which was great. Oh god. There's it. Laura's off tomorrow, I think. She's got her last exam on Friday, and then she's got like a report to write over the weekend. No rest for the wicked. But yeah, then we's done. I still don't know what to do with myself on a daily basis, and I know that's all I talk about these days as well. My God, boys, today we had planning. Oh, and that was a hoot to start with. Um, because we're doing the next bit of planning we're like standing up a new microservice. And this is the kind of thing that like back at my old job where like thing used to be at, we used to effectively have like races for how long it would take to get a microservice up and running, and like a service fabric microservice. And it's one of them things that now we used to be able to do it in like 30 minutes, like get it all bootstrapped, and then the release and pipeline and whatnot would then take like an extra 30-ish minutes, so it'd be like an hour all in to one environment, not all the way through to prod. But like we've got to do that, and it's gonna be a bitch. Like I could just tell we have enough trouble deploying apps that already exist. There's like so many like hurdles you've got to get over. So we've got to do that. So we've got like one huge thing to do this week, and I was like, that's like two people can pair on that. One person could do most of it, and then like it's not very like parallelizable. We can't all work on it, you know. And I was like trying to fight for like some small stuff that we could do around the edges, and I didn't win. So it's going to be a boring ass sprint. But today was really busy for me because I was fixing up some scripts to do some like production cleanup. And I'm going through the process for doing something in prod that isn't a normal software release. And I'm also doing a software release on the side. So I'm like, that's basically everything I'm doing today, and mostly what I'll be doing tomorrow. It's an absolute hoot. So, but yeah, I got to experience the different pain points of like how that process goes. There is a lot of like interlocking people that have to like come together. So we'll be doing that tomorrow, which is going to be fun because tomorrow, I was told this. We're not supposed to know this. We've got like a disaster recovery test going on in one of the environments, and they warned me about this because like we needed to obviously make sure the prod change needs to happen, so we need to kind of work around that. So tomorrow might be good fun. We'll find out. I've never been somewhere that's tested disaster recovery before. We'll see how it goes. But otherwise, it's been a wet day, which means no walks. That's driving me mad. I did some programming before work and after work. While Laura was playing City Skylines, she's like finished prep for an exam tomorrow, final exam, nearly done. Raining, and I am re-watching Rick and Morty so I can watch the 4th series of Rick and Morty. That's what I'm doing. Currently, my sleeping cycle is like all out of whack as well because I don't get tired before midnight these days. Living the dream, boys. Whoops, somehow I have just completely forgot about yesterday, so let's quickly wrap that up now. We did multiple deployments to production. It was fine. Everything went swimmingly. The day was very much a day of sitting and watching screens move though. I also finished off a piece of work, got that deployed to the team environment to test over the weekend. It's like a scheduled thing. It was a jolly good day. It was a really good end to the week. Predominantly because it was basically tying up all of the stuff that we finished last sprint, which technically ended on Wednesday, which isn't good, but it felt productive. Then otherwise, Laura finished her exams. We had Malibu and gin to celebrate. I was about to say we had fit and I'm rolling the 2 days together. Now, if I come into here, it's now Saturday. So I remember when I shimmy the files around. So hopefully tomorrow. Today is technically our 10-year anniversary, me and Laura, which is jolly good fun. I got her a load of gin to celebrate. She's running out of gin. So we've got 2 gins and my favourite thing in the world, which is glasses that are supposed to have stems, but don't. I have a thing, look at this. Fuck that shit. No stem on that boy. Look at that, it's a bit like wine glasses. Oh yeah, I'm all about that life. Otherwise though, relatively boring day. We went to the shop to get some garden stuff and some like bread. I went to the supermarket, Laura went to Wilco's to get some garden stuff. And a new notepad for me, because I need a new notepad. And then otherwise came back here, Laura's doing her like final essay dissertation thing. I have been doing some programming and doing a little bit of gaming. Played Satisfactory, wanting to play Satisfactory up until a certain point. Then I was driving back and that fucking little pig thing threw my truck literally across the map. And it took me about 45 minutes to then get back to where I previously was. Fuck me. Oh god, that was annoying. And I couldn't like just respawn because I deliberately went out to go and pick up a load of stuff. Oh god, that's madness. Yeah, what else? Oh, and then did a load of programming, watched old Formula 1 race because they're like doing these weird replay things. Formula 1 comes back soon. It's the next week or the week after. I think it's the week after. Either way, I'm excited. And then we had dinner and we ordered a, what's it called? We got an Uber Eats, we ordered pudding, we had waffles. Shouldn't have had that waffle. It was way too like sickening. July 5th, so 1 weekend, 2 weekend, not next weekend, the weekend after. Way too sickening, shouldn't have had it, to be honest with you. Way too much. And also it's one of them things, every time I've ordered from Uber Eats, I've kind of regretted it, you know? After I've done it, I'm like, that was a waste of time. But we had it on a discount and it's a special day, so. We just watched a film about the people who killed Osama bin Laden. What a day. And we're bringing this video to an end, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very fringy again, but I've got to wait for another week. Really productive day today. I did quite a bit of like researchy stuff into some development stuff about health checks via a sidecar method, which seems quite alien to me. It's something we do at work, and I'm kind of doesn't make a crazy amount of sense. IMO. So I've been like researching that, trying to figure out how it works. I feel like I get it, but I also don't think it's better. So we'll see. Otherwise, I've been trying to do my own, I'm doing my CDN thing, CMS thing, and really friggin', I've got a bug somewhere in some of my tests, and it looks like it's regenerating the test data twice, and I can't figure out why it's doing it a second time. And I thought it was a problem with the thing I used to do paging, like regenerating the list twice, but it shouldn't do that if the data's the same. It's been driving me mad. I've literally spent like 2 hours on it. It's crazy. Otherwise, like played a little bit of Satisfactory and whatnot. Finally got like effectively 100% utilage of my current area, and then I'm going to pipe it all into one single place and then like drive it around basically. It's going to be great. Yeah. What else? What else has gone on today? That was something else, but I don't know what it was. That's basically it, I think, because Laura's been doing uni work and stuff. And yeah. It's like Father's Day, so like Dad rung and like talked about like what I got him and stuff. That's about it. It's as exciting as it gets. Right, I'm going to end this video here, ladies and gentlemen, because it's relatively long, and I need to remember to fix yesterday's video. We are going to have a fun week because we're basically all swarming on one task, so it's going to be relatively low on productivity, IMO. But I should have finished. Oh, saying that, I'll have one thing to push through to prod on my own again. So, awesome. Right. I'm going. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you later.